Chapter 6058. Steve also relaxed, nodded slightly, and then said, "Mr. Wade wants to treat me to lunch this time. This is a friendly signal. I think I will gain a lot from my trip to China this time." The wife said excitedly, "That's great. You have to quickly understand the Chinese rules for treating guests to a meal. Don't let Mr. Wade think you are rude." Steve nodded repeatedly, "Yes, yes, you are right. Yes. I have never participated in a real Chinese banquet. So I really need to study it carefully to avoid being abrupt." After saying that, Steve immediately picked up his phone and searched for the rules of the Chinese dinner table. His wife also quickly searched on her mobile phone. At the same time, Charlie drove down the mountain and came to the Champs Elysees Hot Spring Hotel. In order not to disturb the practice of most students, he only called Orville to inform him. After all, Orville himself was the weakest among many martial arts students. And he was mostly here just for fun. So Charlie asked him to wait for him at the entrance of the Hot Spring Hotel. When Charlie arrived at the hotel, Orville, dressed in martial arts uniform, was already waiting at the door. He came to the car in a few steps, opened the door for Charlie, and said respectfully, "Master Wade." Charlie nodded and said to him, "By the way, Orville, let Classic Mansion temporarily close to the outside world during the day tomorrow. Prepare a table of good wine and good food. And remember to pay a certain amount of compensation to the guests who are originally booked." Orville agreed without hesitation and then asked, "Master Wade, do you have friends to entertain?" "Charlie," he said casually. "Not really a friend, just an enemy who came from afar." "I understand." Orville nodded and said with a smile, "Don't worry, I will definitely make the arrangements." Charlie smiled slightly, nodding his head, and added, "If you have nothing to do tomorrow, come and entertain me. That guy's family has a lot of money. If you know him, you can also accumulate some connections." After Orville heard this, he felt extremely grateful. In addition to being absolutely loyal in front of Charlie, he also often felt very inferior. The main reason for his low self-esteem is that he has a poor background and poor strength. The most important thing is that he has no knowledge and am just a rough guy. As for Charlie, the head of the Wade family and the grandson of the Yin family, he was even more powerful. He often felt unqualified to work beside him. However, Charlie has never disliked his origin, and even made him the spokesperson of the Wade family in Oris Hill and even the whole province. Now, he even has to introduce other rich people to him. How can he not be moved? However, he knew in his heart that he did not have to say his words of gratitude to Charlie. So he said respectfully, "Okay, Master Wade. I will be waiting at Classic Mansion tomorrow." After that, he asked again, "By the way, Master, what do you call that person you are talking about? I will inform the staff in advance." Charlie said casually, "His name is Steve Routhchild." "Routhchild?" Orville asked in surprise. "Is that the famous Routhchild family in the United States?" "Yes." Charlie nodded and said, "This guy is the second in command of the Routhchild family, the eldest son of the current patriarch." Damn, Orville was dumbfounded and murmured, The second in command of the Routhchild family wants to come to Classic Mansion for a meal, this. Seeing Orville's shocked face, Charlie said, he smiled casually and said, "What's so surprising about this?" Orville said hurriedly, "How could I have imagined that the second in command of the Routhchild family, worth trillions of dollars, would come to Classic Mansion for dinner? Come to think of it, it's also Master Wade that I am being able." Charlie smiled and said, "It's not that I have a big face, but that I pose a big threat to him. If he is sensible, he will come to your Classic Mansion to eat. If he is not sensible, he will go to your dog's house to have his meals there." Orville suddenly understood, nodded heavily, and then suddenly remembered something and blurted out, "By the way, Master Wade, there are still 2 men from the Routhchild family imprisoned in the dog farm under my command."